Love Lights. This is Sandra Bear Davis, the Appalachian Medicine Woman. I'm a 5th generation Appalachian folk medicine practitioner of Cherokee and Celtic descent, trained all my life in the sacred healing ways. I recently was invited and have made a shift over to a traditional Cherokee way of living and of doing my work. I wanted to talk with you guys today about finding peace in a devolving world. Now, I have a very amorous kitty cat here with me today, which is appropriate for the message. How do we find peace in a devolving world? It's pretty obvious to many of us, I wouldn't say everyone, but to many of us, that we are in a world right now that is in a devolving period. We just had the shootings yesterday in D.C. You know, there was all kinds of flooding out in Colorado. Mexico's being inundated. There's a typhoon in Japan, as well as there's the Fukushima nuclear radiation that has many people very, very afraid and worried. We have Monsanto, who has introduced, after eons of time, the beautiful, sacred, and perfect seeds. These ones, because they're greedy corporations, have introduced genetically modified seeds that have started to pollute our food sources and are making people very ill, and will continue. If these are not banned and burned, they're going to continue to make more and more people very, very, very ill. And so there's just so much to worry about all the time. Yeah? New World Order, pollution, fracking, raping of the resources of Mother Earth, political corruption, war. You know, the ones in there, maybe it might work out peacefully in Syria, but we have to wait and see. There's just so much going on. And how do we maintain joy? How do we maintain being at peace? How do we live? How shall we live in these days? These calamitous days that we have entered into. We just do. This system is devolving. Almost every religious system talks about the end of this system of things. It's not sustainable. It can't continue to stand. There must be changes. So we see that happening in the world right now. And how do we have love and empathy for people going through hardships? And yet how do we not get so sucked into fear-based consciousness, fear of the future, depression, anxiety, constant state of worry? How do we not just pull the blankets over our heads and wish that we could just kind of end it all? We just do. Yeah? A really happy life can be marked by big moments that are, you know, the wedding, the baby being born, yeah? That you buy your first house, you know, you get your dream job, you graduate from school, the big moments, right? But what truly makes a happy life are millions upon millions of small moments. It's by having a cup of tea that you enjoy and just sitting down and relaxing. It's by having a cat that just is amorous and just lets you know how much you love. It's by taking a walk out in nature. It's by loving anyone that's in your circle and around you, loving them to the best of your ability. But ultimately, too, it's just kind of a knowing that there is a creator. I go back to the ancient Cherokee ways of, you would have Great Spirit, you'd have Mother Earth. You have your creator. Yeah? That everything has intelligence. All things have intelligence. Everything has intelligence. A stone, a tree. Yeah? Everything has intelligence. Everything is created in love. and that this creator of this beautiful blue jewel of a planet that we live in, this is a very highly beloved and a very highly, in many ways, protected place. Yes, because we are, as a species, very young, very immature. We are being allowed to make our own mistakes. That is our free will. We're being allowed to make our own mistakes. But ultimately, we will not be allowed to destroy this earth, because this earth is a beautiful creation, and we are not the only sentient beings upon planet. Yeah. You have creatures that are just as intelligent or more so than we are. You have an interdimensional, beautiful space. You've got nature spirits, you've got divas, the spirits of the trees. You've got the overlighting divas of all the plant life. Yeah, you've got the whales and the dolphins. You've got all this intelligence, all this beautiful intelligence. You've got ancient turtles and ancient trees and ancient stones, and there's so much intelligence upon this planet. We humans don't have the eyes to see it all, the range, the spectrum of our sight, the size of our brain. We don't have the ability to comprehend that we are really in a blessed and very sacred place, that we have many spirits around us. Each and every one of you has a spirit team all around you. Yeah, beings of spirit represent in a way that we need to see them. So if you are, of a system that believes and works with angels all the time, you're going to see angels. If you work with a system that views this as coming in the form of animals and messengers, you will see that. It depends on what you need to see is what you will see and deal with in the spirit realm. Being a person of Appalachian folk medicine, my original training, it's Cherokee and Celtic, but also took on a kind of a Christianized, Pentecostal Christianized way of being, way back up in the mountains. So I love angels, and that's who came to me when I had my death experience, was the angels. And they speak to me, and they talk to me, and they tell me that this is a beloved and beautiful and protected planet. And yes, mankind will be allowed to go to a certain point. And the intention and the hope is that we evolve and we grow and we learn to go into the next phase of our maturity. However, just like a toddler running around with an open knife, they need to be protected from hurting themselves at times. And so there will come a time that Creator will step in and intervene. There will be divine intervention. Life will find a way. Love will find a way. We will get past these days. Right now, this old world, though, is in a devolving state. And so we'll continue to have these even escalating, natural disasters, earthquakes, storms. Yeah, we will have these human tragedies and wars. Just such a spirit in the world right now of anger, of vengeance, of war, but also this kind of percolating. As one system burns down and falls, another rises up. And what's coming is going to be more of a balance of the divine feminine and masculine, more of a harmonizing of that. Is going to be an earth in which ones have learned to walk more simply as good earth keepers. We will never again give up our food sources to corporations. We will never give up our health to corporations to feed us and to give us our medicines and put us in a money mill. Our deteriorating health, huge amounts of money for the power overlord type people. That won't be allowed to continue. People will be gardening. People will be raising food for us. People will be, as the scriptures talk about, you would be building a home and then resting under your own grapevine. That was a shamanic experience that those writers of the sacred books had, in which they were seeing, divinely being allowed to see a future. And so I too see that future in which people of every race, every ethnicity, every religion will be on this earth creating a totally new earth. No, it won't be perfect. And yes, death will continue to be part of this earth walk. This is a learning place. This is a place to have these experiences. Most of the time you are a being of spirit. Yeah, but this is part of your experience of your whole soul's journey. And so this is a beautiful place. It's heartbreakingly beautiful at times. There's so many things to find that are joyful, that are beautiful. You know, little kittens and puppies, all sorts of baby animals, seeing a sunrise or a sunset. You know, getting to work out in your garden with flowers and with the herbs, making your own medicines, making your own teas, raising your own food, handcrafting things, working with your hands, making something, knitting, or learning to make candles. Yeah, learning to make something with your hands and working with your hands and creating. Getting yourself off of the electronics. I know we're connecting in the electronic world, and so that there's a catch-22 here. But yeah, turning off the computer, getting off of social media, getting off of the phone, getting off of the TV and the computer, and getting your hind end out into nature, getting your feet into the dirt. You know, collect you some acorns right now. They're starting to fall pretty soon. You know, and harvest up. Connect to your ancestors who always were busy this time of year, harvesting and ingathering. Yeah? Don't you feel it? If you get really connected to the rhythms of nature, right now you're going to be in this harvest and ingathering mode. Yeah? And I'm in that big time. I'm a new earth prepper. I have foreseen the devolving of this world and the rebuilding of a new world, but it's also been laid upon my heart and upon my soul and upon my mouth to speak out and to tell people, get yourself 6 months worth of food, get yourself water, get yourself your own herbal medicines, have a way to heat your home this winter off-grid should the power go off, have ways to cook off-grid should the power go off. Be able to function. You know, have enough blankets. Have enough food stores that while you go through times that are extremely dramatic and traumatic in this time of transition in the world we're living in, so that you are safe, you're well fed, and you're comfortable, and you don't have to get out there amongst all the trauma and drama that's getting ready to happen more and more and more so in this world. I'm not a New Age pacifist. Okay, I am a metaphysical libertarian. So I do believe that it's good to have ways to protect yourself and your home space. Never offensively would we strike out at another being, but if you must, protect your home and your family and what you have worked very hard to build up right now. We feel sorry for ones who don't, that have been kind of like the grasshopper that just played and ignored it and then just fell into the hands of propaganda. But those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear and a knowing heart and a mind that can think for itself, we're preparing of every kind of religion, of every kind of path. We just get it. We just know it. We've got to get ourselves prepared now and be in a space where we can stay in a calm space, in a protected space, in a space surrounded by prayer and protective energy, so that we may pass through these days and be all right. And so I'm just leaving that message today. I'm going to turn this off, and I'll have a second message. I do keep these to about 15 minutes each, okay?